Hey everyone, the other day I gave a trading setup, and it was for Nia. Now I'm not sure when I made the video because I make a bunch of random stuff, but I drew this setup sort of when it was sort of over here, and I thought, okay, well that looks like a potential, second wave Elliott wave. Uh, and so it's been playing out quite nicely, and like when I drew this out, everything played out seemingly perfect in a way where it's just that the target for this bull flag right here um, was around $23, and once it was starting to do a correction, the support would have worked out to be at around 20.74, which sort of works along the lines of that $20 resistance, like psychological resistance. And so what I sort of anticipated was that we'd go from to $20, sort of go sideways a bit, go to $23, and then we start some sort of correction, only to go up, further to around $30, which makes sense and it's a nice sort of pattern that I saw it doing. Now, I would say that you probably missed the boat on this one. Maybe buying at the next correction works out pretty well. But what works just as well, potentially, is Link. Now, I'm not as confident with this sort of projection just yet, but I could definitely see it playing out. Where right now it's sort of doing some sort of bull flag, and now this is the reason why I'm not very confident is that this bull flag has way too much space around here. Normally I like to see more sort of range, but this just looks like a massive drop, and then what I'd like to sort of see. Now this is probably a bull flag on the 6 hour chart, just because there's a lot of fake outs on Link. I find there's a lot of people just trying to do leverage trading when they have this potential breakout. But it's a 6 hour breakout, and it's got a whole 1 week time frame in terms of it going up. The uh, the target for this, if we're going to call this a bull flag, which it might not be, but the target for this one would be around $35. Yeah, which works sort of in line with this sort of resistance here on the 6 hour chart. Um, it's just a quick sort of resistance, like around $34, which is, I mean, there's so much resistance on Link actually. Like there's resistance here. There's quite a few, just because Link has been going sideways for a while. Um, but I think that Link can just totally explode through these sort of resistance zones. What else? Yeah, so look, Link had a nice run when Bitcoin was going down, which tells me that Link is just getting started, and that this whole zone is sort of like whales accumulating, sort of getting ready for a potential big move. Um, and we could also see that on Link, it sort of looks like it's doing some massive, I guess, W pattern where we've bottomed twice, and now we're looking to retest the other new resistance zones that were just made, and potentially going back to $51. I think that in 2022, Link will probably hit around like $80 plus, just because it was sort of going sideways for the whole 2021, and a lot of people were expecting it just to blow up. Like especially when we hit here, people were expecting it to go to 100. When we hit here, people thought, okay, maybe we'll go back to $50 to only go to 80. And each time it tries to go up, Bitcoin dumps, and so all these Link pumps were so late to the game that eventually it was just around the time that Bitcoin dumped. Now Link is sort of going ahead of the game and pumping ahead of the game. And so I think that as long as Bitcoin follows this sort of trajectory where we've just had this fake out and we're sort of going up, and on the weekend we're likely just going to go sideways, and there's going to be a lot of fake outs. Each time we fake out, the altcoins pump. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you watch the charts, for example, whenever we go down, it has to be a bullish. We still have to be bullish though. But like say when Bitcoin went from here to here, uh, when Bitcoin went from here down all the way to here, and it started breaking, the altcoins of course dumped, and then they just shot back up as we saw that Bitcoin that potential dump did not happen. Uh, Eventually, of course, we rejected this trend line, this sort of fractal looking trend line, and then we went down. But each time these sort of alts go down, they just recover strongly back up as the Bitcoin. Like each time we potentially fall on Bitcoin, alts dump, and then they just shoot back up once Bitcoin just goes back up. And so we get more of that action during the weekend. Alt's likely to go up. Hopefully we can get more sideways action and we sort of fill up the space from here to here on Bitcoin, which is around like 45 to 42k, and we go sideways from there. That would be the perfect opportunity for Link to sort of break out from its bull flag, if it's a bull flag, and then sort of break its resistance, sort of retest, break, retest. Eventually it will hit this like local high and it'll break it, and it's a propel Link. And I would say that for Link to propel, either we just keep going sideways or we end up breaking 45k, which would be amazing. And I could definitely see Link going to $35 once we break 45k. But you know, just this is not financial advice. This is just for fun. Anyone who claims that they know where the price is going, who's going to say, wow, Link by this week by $35, it's definitely going to happen. Like, don't listen to them. No one knows where the market is going. But we can give you sort of like educated guesses. And my educated guess would be that we're going along this path to potentially 35, 30 to 35. Yeah. Now, when would I think that this is not happening? Obviously, whenever we sort of like, if we break 23.8, then, the trade's gone. Like, I would say that we're just going to dump then. I don't really see that much. There is a little bit of like that pump support where we pumps from at 23.33. But look, it looks terrible if we go down to those prices, unless we're sort of still zigzagging, where we go down, we zigzag down to like, I don't know, that $23 area, then yeah, okay. But if we weren't zigzagging, and I guess this is the idea why it's good to be trading live instead of just following signals. If it just sort of zigzags, I see it zigzagging going up because it still needs a lot of area to fill up. It doesn't necessarily have to fill it, but I'm expecting it to. Yeah, we just zigzag up, go up from there, play out that sort of pathway. But for that to happen, Bitcoin needs to go sideways from here. And I do see it going sideways from here, actually. We just had a fake out, and we're just going to go sideways. That's what I think is going to happen, which is a perfect time for alts to pump. And it's the perfect time for NIA to go to $23. So, yeah, let's see what happens.